Hello, folks. What up? I've been putting foot to ass all afternoon. Boy, I've been having some fun. Here's the thing. No other conversations are intruded upon like Negro conversations. Good Lord. I have never seen so many motherfuckers just interject themselves here in my conversation as if they have been invited to partake. And for God's sake, you have not been invited to partake in this conversation. This conversation is for Negroes. And I know that puts you off, those of you that want to be black so badly. You know, and you only prove that by your incessant fucking need for attention in our conversations. I just don't get it. And it makes some of you so nervous when we start talking amongst ourselves. I know it's a bit unnerving. I understand. I listen to some of the things that we say. If I were you, I'd be a little unnerved myself, but no need to panic. Don't let the fucking fear grip you, please. That makes you dangerous. So I'd ask that you please avoid me. Avoid the Doug Rice Show. All of my oppressors. I give you this fair warning, a public service announcement from Doug Rice, the one and only. Please avoid looking at me for any length of time. Avoid listening to me for any length of time because I may affect you. I may trigger you into seeing the light. Into seeing things my way. Then suddenly you're going to start lashing out at me and calling me a racist, stupid shit, ignorant shit. I mean, just dumb shit. I'm talking about racists. Okay, so Sunday, last day of the weekend, there are only two. What are y'all going to do? You're going to end the weekend on a high note? Are you determined, brothers, sisters, Hebrews, to go about walking freely amongst the oppressors in this penal colony for Negroes without a smile on your face? Are you determined to get that goddamn grin off your faces? I hope so. I really do. Before it's too late, we need to recess and gather amongst ourselves. Bring it in! I like that shit. That's the new shit now. I want to bring it in. I want all the brothers and sisters to bring it in. We need complete and total forgiveness. Everybody can come back. I mean that. I think we need 100% forgiveness. And it's imperative because some of the best and brightest of us have gone to the other side. Serving interests not our own. And you ever notice, as long as we're serving their interests, they don't have a problem. They never stop us in our tracks and say, hey, you're not doing enough for your own folks, man. You know, you've been working here 20 years and you've pretty much got this business down. And you have yet to open up a business in your own community. And Bill, I'm just not going to have it. I'm going to fund your business because we need to expand. Things need to grow. I'm just not going to keep you latched here. I'm going to teach you how to run a business and help you open one in your own community because it's so vital. That shit don't fucking happen. Right? So don't fucking tell me, man. All right, how's everybody doing? Oh, if you're white, this man. Hey, listen, it's Y-O apostrophe, I believe, R-E or somewhere along. There's apostrophe in there somewhere, right? I mean, if you're going to say a lie, if you're going to say, first and foremost, sir, ma'am, whatever you might be, I read that one. If you're stupid enough to give up your heritage, if you're dumb and ignorant enough to give up your family, to give up where you're from, to give up, you know, that which makes you who you are, all so that you can be a white person? Yeah, I find that somewhat foolish. So, that saying that, if you're white, I hate you. Really? No. If you associate yourself with the construct of race, you're ignorant. I hope that's clear. Don't speak falsehoods. And you know what? If you don't like why I'm here, what I'm doing, why are you in here to disrupt? You're in here to tell people this thing. There are certainly people that look like you that you can go watch and enjoy. Why are you here? And it's interesting that when they gather and talk about their right-wing white nationalism, you don't have brothers and sisters intruding into their conversations, throwing things into their meetings and their rallies. You know what I mean? It's so interesting that they come uninvited to what they suspect is a racist, but steer clear of actual racists in their fucking families. They'll come here and call me a racist, but their next door neighbor, the one that uses all those colorful words to describe Negroes, they don't say a fucking word to their friends, their families, their coworkers, their employers. They shut their fucking mouths. But they come to TikTok because they hear me say something with a bit of force and authority and definition and finality. And it fucks their little conscience up. They can't take it. It triggers their ass. And so they come to the conversation, a conversation they're not fucking invited or welcomed to. And the worst thing that you can do is tell a motherfucker they're not fucking welcome in Negro conversations. And they want, oh so desperately, not to be ignored at that point. Then they act like little goddamned children. Start jumping up and down in the class to get attention and shit. Rejection is the fucking trigger, isn't it? So that's why I say black people who, that's who they identify us as, Hebrews are true identifier. Bring it in. Bring it in. You can see just by the conversation, if you ain't talking about something they don't like, suddenly they don't like you. Oh, now, if there's a difference of opinion with someone that doesn't look like me, there's no name calling. You ever notice that? Yeah, they name call when this face says something they don't like. But if another face says it, they don't go into name calling. They just agree to disagree. Isn't it strange how that works? They get in their goddamn feelings when a brother says something that he can't stop. Then they can't shut me up. They can't stop me from talking, and I'm not taking their fucking comments. They're not changing my mind. It's made up. Yeah, and the opinion I have about them is the problem they have with me. Because it's settled. And they don't like the fact that I say I have an opinion about them. They don't like that. I mean, they will us to fucking death. But the minute they hear the word them, then suddenly we're racist. Ain't that something? Does that make any sense to you? That they identify us as us. We identify them as them suddenly. Oh, you're a racist. No, don't own it if it ain't yours, baby. If it doesn't apply to you, just enjoy the conversation. No need to be a part of it. You don't fucking belong. It's the worst thing you can say to a motherfucker. All day. And you know what? I saw a sister put something down pretty interesting. And for those of you that might be in here getting vigorous in the comments, I don't know where Katrina is, but listen, let me ask you, do you ever ask your grandparents, have they ever been to where a black person has had to sit in a diner to get something to eat? Have they ever been to that gathering? You ever asked your great-grandfathers or great-grandmothers or great-great-grandmothers, some of them are still alive, have they ever been to a lynching? You ever asked them? You won't ask any of them that, huh? You won't approach any of your family. Have you ever just done what's called a racial probe of your family, friends, and neighbors just to see where they sit racially regarding Negroes? No, but you'll come here and get in my goddamned conversation, won't you? Policing Negroes. And what's interesting, These same motherfuckers that come in this conversation to intrude their unwanted, unwelcome opinions that are rejected before they give them. These same weak-minded, easily triggered, shallow motherfuckers that come in to say something, to stir shit, to see if they can stop what's happening. They won't look 2 inches in front of their own nose to see racism next door to them. And it's a sad state of affairs. It's why their country is lost. I ain't saying their country's lost. They're saying their country's lost. I mean, the more I look, the more they keep telling me it's over. You know, civil war, just uncontrollable caucasity, gone mad. Scared of everything. Don't know what to fucking do. So they take to the streets and spread shit in their capital. And then they see me, it's when they want to open their fucking mouths. All these motherfuckers that are in here talking to me, they looked at their kin go to the Capitol and they were like this. They haven't said a fucking thing about what's happened on January 6th yet. They're saving all their energy for me. I feel so honored. Anyway, I'm Doug Rice. I enjoy putting verbal foot to mental ass, especially when it comes to the oppressors, those that don't belong in my goddamn conversation or my fucking face. You don't like what I'm saying, perhaps you should find other business. Now, I invite you to leave. But you can't. You can't. Oh my God, and it's pathetic. Jesus Christ, am I that good? I am, aren't I? I know. It's a thing. Black news, anyone? No? Shall we? Yes? Black news? Yes? That'll probably run an oppressor off. We start talking about the facts and showing these receipts. They'll hightail it out of here. They don't like facts. The oppressors don't like facts. This is why they want to get rid of what they call critical race theory, because they don't want facts. They don't want their children upset about, the guilt associated with mentioning the slave trade they were so deeply involved in for so fucking long, and all the wealth that was built on the backs of slaves. They hate that shit. If you itemize family wealth coming from the slave trade and how it transitioned from slave to something else, and money was still getting made, wealth was still created, and they were enjoying that shit today. Well, they look at you and smile, and you know what we do like fucking morons? We smile back. The more we try to shake caucasity off our psyche, the more it tries to grip itself. The more its talons try to just dig into our cerebral cortex. And the more you try to pull away from these motherfuckers, the more they open up their goddamned mouths. Ain't that a something? I don't think you say the B word here. I don't think you can say that. Check on that. All right, so Black News. What do we have? I don't know. Let's do it. Let's see. So the top of the Black News in the afternoon is still the same thing in the morning. They're still talking about what McConnell said. I don't care what McConnell said. I don't care that McConnell exposed himself. Listen to me. McConnell's braver than the rest of them that come in here and tell me how racist I am. McConnell will say it to our faces and won't have a problem. He's old clad. And these folks devoid of history and, any self, awareness that's accurate, they don't really want us to talk about the past because for them, it just doesn't exist. For us, we live it every fucking day. We got to look the past in the face every time we turn on the fucking news and stare in these fucking fossils from the 50s goddamned faces. There's the past looking right at us. All I got to do is to go into certain segments of this god-awful country. Certain jerkwater towns that you better not be black in and be in the night. No, there's sundowner towns all right. But you couldn't tell these modernized individuals who get on this platform and wag their little fingers at me and say, you're a racist. Let me tell you something. For those of you that are calling me a racist, you ain't never met a racist. I have. They're scary. I'm not scary. You kidding me? I'm warm and fuzzy compared to racists. So before you start slinging the R word at me for what I'm saying, I really want you to go find some real racists and get your blood curdled. Let that blood run cold down your motherfucking neck. Let that shit happen and then come and you'll say, you know what, Doug? I may have gone too far when I called you a racist because I met Billy Bob. Yeah. Yeah. All you got to do is to go to Kentucky. Go to West Virginia. Find the lie and tell me that my couldn't stand in certain towns in this country past dark safely. Don't act like that shit don't exist because it's every fucking where. And the ignorance of the ignorant who don't know, I don't give a fuck. Keep running your fucking mouth. We know. All right. McConnell, don't get in your feelings. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. I talked about this earlier. Black Mississippi senators walk out in protest over critical race theory vote out of the schools. And where are you walking out? They still voted, didn't they? You walked out because they voted critical race theory out of the schools. You, a senator, you walked out of the proceedings and they voted anyway. What are you doing? Stop. Listen to me. Read some of the comments. These people don't give a damn about what we're talking about. But see, what drives them crazy is when they can't change our mind. They can't affect what comes out of our mouth when they know that trying to change our conclusions is lost. When we're not listening to them anymore, paying attention to shit they talking about, let me tell you something. Nothing triggers these motherfuckers more. And I love that shit. It's high time we ignore these crazed beings. Give me a break. We've been listening to these motherfuckers for way too fucking long, telling us they're the way, the truth, all this shit. You know, truth, justice, the American way. This is a slime ball country like every other country they accused of being a slime ball. And now that the truth is out, they don't want anybody talking. But I'm not going to stop talking. I know, right? I bet you do wish you could shut me up. Okay, so they just walked out, huh? I talked about the Jacksonville Iceman, black player, hockey player. He's accused of seeing a racial gesture towards him. A Jacksonville Iceman player suspended, accused of using a racial gesture toward a black person. That's hockey. Somebody used a racial gesture at a black person that's on a hockey team? You're just supposed to say, what's up? I mean, they should have just said, called you the N-word and you just go, what's up? I mean, you're in hockey, man. What did you expect? Civility? Now, this Jacksonville Iceman who used the racial gesture toward the black player on his team, are any of you any of you guys that live in Jacksonville that are accused looks to sue police? And no big deal. Carry on. No reaction anymore, folks. No reaction and ignore them. That's it. That's the key. That's how we get out of this shit alive. We remember that we are here against our will. We're not invited here. This isn't some grand journey toward freedom and, we weren't chasing the American dream. We weren't doing none of that shit. We were minding our fucking business. Okay? They came, took us over here, and through the threat of death, they said, you're going to learn what we value, you're going to value what we value, you're going to learn our values, you're going to, all that. The language, you're going to forget about your religion. We're going to teach you religion. So we did all that shit and we survived. We survived despite them, right? And thrived, right? And so now our eyes are open as to what's happened to us, that we are here against our will, not welcome. They tell us, you leave if you don't like it. We can't leave because you'd break America if Negroes left. We're the ones protecting you, keeping these other countries from jumping your bones. Right? So, we talk amongst ourselves. We say these things to ourselves. We know these things as Hebrews. We don't let them interfere with our message, what we discuss. It's not their place. And, you get used to keeping their place because we've kept ours too long, right? And at this point, we make it a practice of congregating amongst ourselves, of treating each other with dignity, respect, knowing that each of us are Hebrews, the line of David. We don't allow them to give us their narrative, and they don't define who the fuck we are anymore. The caricature of blackness that they view and promote, we shun that shit and reject it offhand. And the more you tend to reject caucasity, the more caucasity tends to attract itself to you. And so it's that final chapter of closing your mental eyes in the direction of anything that resembles their ideology, their values, what they believe, what they hold dear. Fuck that. You know what I mean? And while you at it, go fix your own fucking house. Don't fucking worry about what we're talking about. You got problems. You feel me? Y'all got problems. None of you that are in here in Negro business should be concerned with what I'm talking about because you got problems. You should not be worried about what Doug Rice is saying right now. You got bigger fish to fry. And I really encourage you to turn to while minding your business and keeping your mouth out of our conversation. You'll need all the energy you can muster. You better pay attention to what's going on behind you, not what's going on in front of you. All right, well, how's everybody doing? You good? I just want anybody that's, I want all the oppressors and the detractors and the folks that feel they have a place in my fucking conversation to get it out. Get it out! You got something to say. I was eventually going to happen. All right, folks. So, what do we have? Mississippi senators pass anti-CRTV. Right, they walked out anyway. What are they doing walking out? And they were in Mississippi. Black Democrats walked out of a Mississippi senator. What would you think? What's that going to accomplish? What was they going to do? Stop? Oh, hold up. Wait a minute. We got friends leaving. What's going on, fellers? Mississippi! So you walked out! I just imagine they didn't even look in your direction as you left. The votes just got counted. What they so scared of? What is critical race theory exactly? It's critical race. What is that? What's your next move? I'm not going to stop talking about the past. Hell no. You base everything you have on the past. So no, we're going to talk about it till kingdom comes. Now what you going to do? I know you're uncomfortable. You sure as fuck should be. Chickens are en route. I know, right? I know, you think of all the things done to make places like Australia. You think of all the things done to human beings to create places like the Congo. You think about all kinds of suffering that had to occur in order to create Canada. And this seems to be a reoccurring and running theme through all of that exploration, all of that fucking settling. Seems to be a specific and particular group of motherfuckers that seems to be settling and shit. And the results of this settling, that's the thing. I mean, if they dovetailed quite nicely, folded into the current ecological and geographical, conditions and circumstances of which they find themselves in, quietly and politely, molding themselves to fit those around them so that they seamlessly integrate with kindness and are known for their warmth and known to be welcome if they only did that. But no, what they do is they come in with the smile and the grin and the handshake and the fucking lie. And then they start telling you how shit's gonna be, and then they start murdering you. So don't fucking come tell me just the blessing of the very presence of all of these beings. South America, North America, Africa, Australia, everywhere the motherfuckers go, same thing happens. Culture vultures. How dare you? It's better that you distance yourself from whomever I'm talking about and just embrace your nationality, embrace your country, embrace your family, embrace your culture. If you're German, be a German. American, if you want. If you're Italian, be an Italian. If you're Yugoslavia, the Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore. But whatever you do, don't trade it all to be white. Why are you trading all of that to be one thing? We're Hebrews. You call us black. But then you call other motherfuckers black who ain't Hebrews. What the fuck is going on? So no, that's as dumb as a box of rocks to say that I somehow hate all white people. No, that's stupid. That would be ridiculous. First and foremost, none of you are white. And none of you are black. None of you are red. None of you are yellow. None of you are any of those colors. There is no goddamn rainbow. Who made that shit up and why? I've told you who made it up and I've told you why. You understand? So don't get in your fucking feelings when you hear me talk about quote unquote white people. When you quote unquote, it's not. I'm talking about those who identify themselves with that constructed matrix. That's all. Don't get, every time you chirp up, you realize, you understand you've chosen your side. You've told me what you decided. Damn, I was Dutch, what, Sweden? You're from Sweden, right? Right? All these European countries, rich history. Are you kidding me? The shit I've never seen before. Fucking beautiful, just wonderful shit. You come over to America and suddenly you're a classification of 4 colors. And if you're from any country that resembles the country the real danger comes from, well, then you just throw your hat in with those motherfuckers and there you go. You've given everything up. Get the fuck out of here, man. Don't get in your feelings. Okay, thanks so much. I don't even know what time it is. 5:45. I just decided to give you a show. You're gonna see me tomorrow morning at 6. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love the show tomorrow morning. You go to YouTube, Doug Rice, the one and only. You find me there. All right. Listen, don't get in your feelings. If you associate yourself with that, with being a color, if that's your thing, you're probably gonna be in your feelings. Okay. I'm not talking to anybody except those individuals that associate themselves with this color schematic made up to keep track of the Hebrews. Okay. All right, we good? How's everybody doing? All right. You guys have a good evening. I'm out.